Are you trying to force yourself to be happy, trying to stay upbeat, putting on a smiley face for the people around you, or maybe it's just social media? If so, I want you to stop that right this moment. You found the right video. I want to help you make decisions that are going to help you be the best you that you can possibly be. Let's set a simple goal for today. I just want you to be better than you were yesterday. Small goal. We have to be careful not to fall into this woe is me mentality. Self-pity is a drug and it's stronger than dope. And I don't know about you, but I see a lot of fiends on my timeline. You post about your problems and people react. Now you have a hit of attention on social media. That dopamine makes you feel alive, don't it? But it's fleeting, so you fall back into your depression. You can't create. You don't know how to act. You're just in the mood. You don't want to wash up. You're just down in the dumps and you don't want to do anything. But today, we're going to break that habit right now. I'm going to show you how. If you're like me, you probably want to create something. There's probably something deep down inside of you that you always wanted to do. Well, now is the time. I want you to set the biggest goal you could possibly think of. Don't worry about the people you have in your corner. Just set a giant goal. Once you set that goal, you're probably going to feel discouraged. You're probably going to be scared of failure. But I'm going to tell you right now, do it anyway. But if there's something that you want to do, you have to do it. And do it now. And don't be afraid of failure. Being scared of failure is an irrational fear. And even if you do fail, so what? You're still here. Keep going. Consider that failure as a gift. When you're under pressure, you're forced to test your abilities. When you fail, you find out what you're truly made of. And you realize that failure isn't that bad because life still goes on. Just because your end goal isn't here, it doesn't mean that it's not coming. It could still be on the way. As a matter of fact, it still is on the way. If you give up, then you're choosing to stay down. You're throwing in the towel. As long as you're breathing, you have the fight left in you. Ryan Coogler felt a tremendous amount of self-doubt and fear while making Black Panther. He was at Sundance when he said this.
I remember the first time I saw the number that the film had to make in order to be considered profitable, and I felt physically sick. You know what I mean? Like I was like, oh my God, and nothing makes you feel more like a fraud, like when you see a number like that, and then you got your cast showing up wearing like rubber suits and capes. You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh man, is anybody gonna like be into this? Like, like this is, like you just it'll make you break out into a cold sweat. You know what I mean? Like.
He knew that if he kept going and just kept it real, he was going to win.
I would say like what always calmed me down and like helped us to keep our focus was like, yo, is this honest? You know what I mean? Like with the people who this story would affect the most, be able to sit through this for a couple hours. You know what I'm saying? And feel involved. Like, like if I go play this in Oakland, if I go play this in Cape Town, in a township, where people feel it, you know what I mean? People follow what we're talking about. And if it works for them, it's a good chance that it might work for, for other folks too. Cause everybody's from somewhere, right? You know what I mean? Like I asked the black folks, how many of y'all been to the continent? But I'm sure there's people here of Irish descent, you know what I'm saying? That maybe haven't been yet and heard stories about, what it was like and stories about what it was like when they got conquered, you know what I mean, and what was lost. It's like so everybody has, an element of what we deal with as black folks, you know what I'm saying? It's not exactly the same thing. It's maybe not as urgent and pressing, but if it can work for our audiences, is what we would talk about, then maybe people will be able to take that, take that ride with us, so that's what we were kind of banking on.
Be like Ryan. When you balance your emotions with rational thinking, you become the indomitable you. Your feelings are there to fuel your ambitions, to fuel your drive. Michael Jordan would be dissed and then use that to just become a beast on the court. You could do the same thing for whatever it is you want to do. You have to make those choices. You have to decide that, hey, I'm going to do the things that I need to do in order to excel. When you feel yourself slipping into one of those moods, do something that makes it impossible to feel sad. Maybe you have to go for a hike. Maybe you watch a movie always puts you in a good mood. Maybe you volunteer somewhere. Maybe you just go for a walk. Do something to take your mind off of that pity you feel. What I did is I created a list of all of my previous wins. So I tap into those wins. I tap into those moments. I have an album of just my biggest accomplishments of each year, and I look back at them and I remember what it felt to get there. I remember what it took to get there. I want you guys to make a bank of all of your accomplishments. Consider it like a safety deposit box. Whether you write down, create a photo album, this bank is going to be where you go to withdraw affirmations that you can do it. That time you accomplished that thing, that time you won that award, that time you did something that everyone said you couldn't do. You're still that person, regardless of what happens. So that's what I do. I tap into those reserves, my albums, the time I hiked to a waterfall, my major victories and my major accomplishments. I did that. I overcame those obstacles. And I'm sure you have those moments too where you did that thing. You accomplished that win. You can do it. And I hope those little tips just help you push forward to the next step. And a little bit of Monday motivation. Till next time.